to a Book and Mathletes podcast where we interview marginalized or discriminated groups in society. The main topic of this week's podcast will be about immigrants and the stories of their journey to get where they are today. Our guests for this podcast will be Irene Barrera and Raywin Gamis. Okay, who am I here with?
Hello, my name is Irene Barrera, and I am mother of 4 children, and I'm 43 years old, and I'm from El Salvador.
Okay. How old were you when you came to Canada?
I had 31 years old.
You were 31 years old. What were you and your family struggle coming here?
Can you repeat me again, please?
What were you and your family struggle coming here? Tu lucha viniendo aquí.
I think the most difficult for us was take a decision, because it's not easy when you don't have the properly language, because the Spanish and English is too far different.
No, continue.
And it's hard because it's new country and new language and new everything. Decision for me was the most difficult.
The most difficult. You don't think that maybe how hard it was crossing, like all of that, the time spent, because didn't you have a struggle with your son?
In our case, the most difficult is cross the countries, because we live in El Salvador, but if you wanna came to Canada, example, we need to cross Guatemala, Mexico, US, and Canada. We need to cross 3 countries illegal, and it's really hard because they catch you when you speak Spanish, because it's different. Every country speaks different. We have the Spanish language, but it's different than my country.
I see. So for example, Mexico has different pronunciation for words. They're all different.
Everything.
It's Spanish, but some words are pronounced differently.
Everything. Food, name food example is different. Example, rice for us is arroz, but for Mexican people is sopa.
What?
If you say, oh, I want a rice, I want arroz, they say, oh, what is arroz? This is sopa. Is sopa. Is different. And they catch you, oh, you are illegal and immigrant, and they took your money, because if they call to immigration people, they catch you and you are deported with your family.
I see. So, for example, the people that catch that you're an immigrant and you're not from that country specifically, they take advantage of that, and they take your money, threatening you with the fact that they can call immigration and they can deport you back to your country, which would be El Salvador, right?
Yes. First, they catch you and you sleep in jail with your kids, with your husband, with all your family if you are not alone. And they took everything, and then they investigate about you. Who are you? Where are you from? And they deport at your country, and it's hard. Because imagine if you cross Guatemala and you cross Mexico, but in US they catch you, you come back 3 countries, and you come back to your...
So all your struggle, or all your hard work to cross those countries would just be for nothing, because they just bring you back to El Salvador.
Yes, this happened.
Wow.
And it's really hard.
That must be really hard. That must be horrible. What else have you experienced while crossing the border? What else happened?
We passed so many things. so many things. The first time when we cross Mexico to US, we cross the
desert.
The desert. And oh my, no, was really, nobody have idea what happened in the desert.
Could you
Nobody
give us details on what happened?
The first time you start to, in our case, we start to walk 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Exactly was 5 p.m. when we start to walk with a team. We was 30 people in the team. One was the lead, and the rest, 29, was a normal people like me. And in my team was the unique lady, only me. In this moment, I had 24 years.
Oh, 24 years.
24 years. And was hard because we start to walk, but nobody say the narc people use the desert.
The narcos?
Yes, the narcos.
So the narcos, you mean by the drug dealers, all those?
Yes.
Oh.
When we walk, we start to walk 5, probably 6:30 or 7 p.m. We saw some guys in the desert, and they walk around of our group. And then we saw the rifles.
The rifles.
And in this moment, you know your life is nothing, because you never know what happened. And they cover his faces, and they
pointed their guns.
Appointed at our group, and they say, okay, I need a line, and take care of all your clothes with underwear, everything. And everybody do it except me, because I was the unique lady.
You were the only woman in that group.
Yes. And I say, sorry, but I know men. And I remove one hat of my head. And the men say, okay, walk one step in front of the rest of the group. And I walk.
You walked one step.
One step. And he say, don't see back.
Don't look back.
Don't look back. And the other rest of the people try remove the everything, the clothes everything. But my husband was with me in this moment, and he say, sorry, but she is my wife. And the narc people say, okay, walk with her, and that's it. And when he walked with me, we think, oh, maybe they kill us. They kill all the group. You never know what happened. We think a lot things, but nothing good passed in my mind. Everything was a bad.
They were all bad thoughts.
But and then they say remove everything. But for any reason they say, no, you guys, no, my husband and me. And we are in shock, because these people don't have a compasión por nadie.
They don't have compassion for anyone.
They don't have compassion for anyone. But in our case, they say, no, you guys, no, my husband and no me.
So they let you off. They let you off.
But they say, don't
Don't look back.
Don't look
They said,
back.
Don't look back.
Then they say everybody.
They told everybody to go on the floor, to
Yes.
lay down on the floor.
And everybody,
And then everybody laid down on the floor.
yes, lay down on the floor
Mhm.
without clothes.
Without clothes.
And everybody think, oh, maybe they give us
Oh,
one chop.
one shot into the head.
Yeah. But imagine everybody was preocupado.
Was worried. Everybody was
Worried.
worried. They were all scared.
Scared.
Terrified.
Oh, horrible. So many things pass in your mind. Maybe why I came.
You're regretting at that moment wanting to go to Canada, to America. At that moment, you were scared for your life.
Yes, because you think, oh, this is the most bad decision in my life.
I shouldn't have come here. I shouldn't have tried to.
But now, in this moment, you don't have nothing to do.
Mm-hmm.
You need to follow all direction. That's it. And the guy say, okay. Everybody was in the land.
On the land, everybody was.
Everybody was on the land because was the desert. And with your face, see behind.
With your face down,
Mm-hmm.
they couldn't see
Face to land.
because they were their face were planted onto the floor,
Yes.
onto the desert.
You can see right or left side. If you move your head, you are die. And they say, wait for 10 minutes. If any people
If anybody look up,
is died.
they die.
They die. And what's scary? The most 10 minutes. The most
Scariest and longest 10 minutes of your
10
life.
minutes in my life. And I think of everybody, not only me.
And this is like the people in the group, right? Like they were all naked, face planted onto the desert floor, while the narcos were pointing their rifles at them. But you and your husband, they let you take a step forward. Were you on the floor as well, or no? Or were you standing up?
I was on the floor
with your husband.
Same to me. Same to the other group.
But you weren't naked, correct?
Yes.
But everyone else was except you and your husband.
Yes.
What happened next?
When the time passed,
Mm-hmm.
our lead
Yes.
say, okay guys, 10 minutes is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Wake up. And we wake up and
You guys get up from the floor.
yes. And mis compañeros se cambiaron ropa.
Your companions, the people in the group, they put their clothes back on, correct?
Yes. When everybody
put their clothes back on.
Yes.
You can say this in Spanish. I can always translate for you.
Okay. Ellos se pusieron la ropa.
Mm-hmm. They put their clothes back on.
Seguimos caminando.
We continued walking.
And then we walk. We walk and never stop. Never. Then our feet.
Your feet?
Yeah, what's the problem?
What happened to your feet?
Cuando tú caminas demasiado,
When you walk too much in the desert,
no sé por qué,
we don't know why,
pero
but
se nos hicieron los pies muy swollen.
our feet became really swollen.
Eran unas burbujas o
There were
de
bubbles
water
on our feet of water.
que nadie sabía qué eran.
No one knew what they were.
Todos decíamos, me duelen las plantas de los pies.
Everyone said, my feet hurt, the bottom of my feet hurt.
Cuando removimos los zapatos,
When we took our shoes off,
vimos que esas swollen que sentíamos
when we took our shoes off, we saw that the soreness that we felt on our feet,
eran unas pelotas de agua como cuando te quemas en la cocina.
They were these bubbles of water, like when you burn yourself in the kitchen, there's this bubble that forms on your skin.
Y teníamos que ponernos nuevamente los zapatos para seguir caminando.
And we had to put our shoes back on to continue walking in the desert.
Eso dolía demasiado.
And that hurt too much.
Pero estás dentro del desierto.
But you're in the desert.
If you don't walk,
you
die.
You die.
Nobody wait for you. Another point, when you are in the desert, everything is heavy for you. Your pants, your shoes, your shirt, your backpack, your water, everything is heavy for you.
So everything that you had on was so heavy. You just felt like taking it all off, correct?
Yes. La gente,
the people,
empieza a dejar.
They start to take their shirt off.
Empiezan a remover una jacket.
They take off a jacket at first.
Empiezas a remover tu botella de agua.
They start taking off their bottles of water.
No puedes cargarla.
You can't carry them.
Pero más adelante,
but later on,
empiezas a
you start breathing heavily
por el agua.
Because
la
of
necesitas.
The water. You needed the water.
Nadie tiene agua.
But no one has water.
Y si alguien del grupo tiene agua,
and if someone in the group has water,
tiene que compartirla a un traguito por persona.
They all have to share it with one sip of water with everyone.
Necesitamos seguir caminando.
And we have to continue walking.
Si no morimos todos en el desierto y nadie nos encuentra.
If not, we all die in the desert and no one will find us.
Seguimos caminando.
We continued walking.
Y vimos ropa y botellas de agua de alguien que las había abandonado.
We saw clothes on the floor of the desert and bottles of water. It seemed like someone had abandoned them as well.
Y mi esposo tomó la decisión de agarrar las botellas de agua.
And my husband took the decision of taking the bottles of water.
Toda la gente decía, don't drink, maybe have a poison.
Everyone was saying, don't drink the water, it might have poison.
Pero era tanta la sed que teníamos que tomarla.
But we had so much thirst that we just had to drink the water.
Mi esposo fue el primero que la probó para darme a mí.
My husband was the first one to drink it so that I could taste as well.
Luego tomé yo.
And then I drank too.
Y luego tomó nuestro grupo, nuestro team.
And then everyone else in the group took water as well.
Y seguimos caminando.
And we continued walking.
Puedes ver leones a distancia.
You can see lions in the distance.
Serpientes.
You can see serpents as well.
Y muchos animales de desierto que pueden quitarte la vida.
And many animals of the desert that could take your life.
El desierto es muy curioso.
The desert is very curious.
Because en el día hace mucho calor.
Because in the day there's so much hot, like it's just too hot.
Pero en la noche te mata de hipotermia.
But in the night, it can kill you because of hypothermia. It's just too cold as well.
No sé qué tiene el desierto de misterioso.
I don't know what the desert has. It's a mystery.
Porque cuando empiezas a dejar la ropa en el camino que no la puedes cargar porque es de día.
Because once you start leaving your clothes in the desert because it's too hot and too heavy to carry with you.
En la noche la necesitas.
In the night you need it.
But si tienes suerte, if you are lucky and you cross all the desert with your life, with everything,
yeah.
Cumples tu sueño.
You complete your dream with everything if you manage to make it out alive.
Y después piensas todo lo que pasé valió la pena.
And then you realize that everything you went through at that moment was worth it.
Y pues es muy difícil
And well, it's just really difficult
viajar como un ilegal inmigrante.
traveling like an illegal immigrant. Wow, that was a really, really big story.
Y esto no es nada.
And this is nothing compared to the rest.
Hay muchas historias y he saltado muchas cosas que no están explicadas. Mucha gente dice, puedes hacer un libro con esto, porque también sufrí secuestro en México.
There's a lot of things I didn't say in this story because it was just too much and not enough time to say. But I even got kidnapped in Mexico.
With my son of 3 years old. Now he have 21 years. And he live with me in Canada.
Wow. So like that story you just told us was like, it was nothing compared to the other things you've went through.
I have so many histories.
You have a lot of history.
Experience in my life.
Wow. That's like crazy.
For this reason, I tell to my kids.
You tell your kids
Que estudien.
To study.
Porque no quiero que sean como yo.
Because you don't want them to be like you.
Yes.
Wow. It's okay. Okay. It's honestly crazy what you went through. And so, this is why you always tell your kids to study. Because you don't want them to experience the same thing you did. Que por eso tú quieres tus hijos que estudien. Para que no sufren lo que tú
Sí, porque no fue fácil llegar hasta aquí.
It wasn't
para
easy
que
coming
ellos
here.
No hagan bien las cosas.
So that they don't do the things well here in this country.
Yes.
Okay. Was it, how long did it take for you and your family to get approved to move to Canada? ¿Cómo, si fue duro ser aprobado aquí en Canadá?
No. In our case, we have so many bad experience and we have the proof. And when Canada give us refugee, they ask what happened with you and your country or what is your situation. And we have a proof about our situation, and immediately Canada give us refugee.
So
in
Canada,
6 months, we have a PR, permanent resident.
So Canada, as soon as you told them your story and showed them the proof, they immediately took action and gave you refuge.
Yes.
And it only took 6 months to get a PR, a permanent residence.
6 months.
6 months. Was it difficult to fit into Canada? Si fue duro andar aquí, acostumbrarse al país?
Sí. Yes. Was difficult and is difficult now too. Because in our case, we don't have a family. And we are alone. Only my husband, 2 kids, and me.
At that time, you only had 2 kids and you were
2
alone.
kids. Yes. In this moment, my son had 11 years and my daughter 2 years and a half.
Me.
Yeah. And the other point is house, money, language, everything was really hard.
Money.
Without family, no. Nadie sabe qué es esto.
No one knows what this is. So it was just really hard, the language barrier, English, Spanish, the money, the housing, taking care of the family as well. That must have been really hard. Ever since you've moved here, have you faced discrimination? If so, how?
Yeah. Always happen.
It always happens to you?
Yeah. Yeah. Always. When you speak, some people don't have a patience.
They don't have patience.
They don't understand, oh, she came a few days ago or a few months ago. They don't understand, oh, she is old and she have a year in this country. No. Sometimes you try to explain with your hands. Because for me it's more easy talk with somebody face to face than phone. Because on phone I can move my hands. But the people is, some people, the majority people understand our situation. But some people is really hard.
Some people just don't have the patience to wait for you because of your English, that obviously isn't well.
Yeah. And they say, sorry, I don't understand you. Can you come back later or whatever? It's really hard and it's frustrating.
So they just brush you off.
Yeah.
That must be really frustrating. And is that all the discrimination you faced? Because I heard you were in America as well. Canada.
Yeah. Una de mis más malas experiencias en Estados Unidos.
One of my most worst experiences in the United States
fue que yo iba manejando mi carro.
Was when I was driving my car.
Pero por tener cara de latina.
But because I had a face of a Latina, I was Latina.
Face.
A Latin face.
La policía te persigue.
The police follows you.
Ese día fue algo diferente.
That day was something different.
Un carro patrulla iba atrás de mí.
One patrol car was behind me.
Luego vi otro carro a la par mía en mi derecha, en mi right side.
Later on, I saw another patrol car beside me on my right side.
Y vi a otro patrulla en my left side.
Later on, I saw another patrol car on my left side.
El patrulla de atrás, el carro patrulla, me puso las luces y me detuve.
The patrol car from behind, he put his lights on, and that's when I stopped.
Cuando el carro se detuvo, ya habían 3 carros patrullas rodeándome por el lado de enfrente. En total eran 6 cars.
When I pulled over and the police car did as well, there was already 3 other more cars in front of me, so meaning I had 6 cars around me, 3 behind me and 3 in front of me.
Todos los policías me estaban apuntando con sus armas.
All of the police were pointing me with their guns.
Yo tuve miedo.
I was scared.
No sabía por qué hacían eso.
I didn't understand why they were doing this.
No cometí ningún error al manejar.
I didn't commit any error while driving.
Pero tenía cara de latina.
But I had face of a Latin woman.
Y el policía que se acercó a mi ventana.
And the police officer that went near my window
vio que era una mujer y un niño de 3 años.
Saw that I was a woman with a son of 3 years behind in the car.
Y gritó a los demás.
And he yelled to the other officers,
no disparen, es una mujer y un niño.
Don't shoot, it's a woman and a child.
Y me dijo, tu licencia.
And he asked me for my license.
And I say, I don't have license.
And I told him I didn't have a license.
Me dijo, bájate.
He told me to get off the car.
Me dio la vuelta.
He spun me around.
Y puso las esposas en mis manos.
and he put the cuffs on my hands harshly.
Me dijo, llama a un amigo que tenga licencia que venga a traer a tu hijo, si no te lo vamos a quitar.
Call a friend of yours that has a license to come pick up your kid. If not, we're going to take him away from you.
Le llamé a una amiga que ella agarró a mi hijo.
I called a friend of mine and she came to pick up my son.
La policía subió unos perros a mi carro.
The police put some dogs inside my car.
Yo creo que ellos querían encontrar droga o no sé si se equivocaron, pero me trataron muy mal y me llevaron presa.
I think the police wanted to see if I had drugs, but they were treating me really badly, and they put me under arrest.
Me tomaron foto como un delincuente con un número adelante.
They took pictures of me like a delinquent with the numbers in front of me.
Lo único que no pudieron encontrar nada en mi vehículo, en mi carro, y salí de la cárcel 3 días después, pagando una multa.
But they couldn't find anything inside my car, and so they let me out after 3 days. But they gave me a bill to pay.
Y esa fue una experiencia la cual no puedo olvidar. O sea, sería imposible olvidarme de esa situación.
And that was one of my worst experiences that I just can't forget. It was just too much. Okay. Ever since do you think the discrimination immigrants face aren't noticed in society?
Creo que sí es importante hacer más conciencia.
Conscience. I think it is important to have more conscience.
Porque nadie sabe lo difícil que es venir a estos países.
Because no one knows, not many people know how hard it is for you to enter these countries.
Cuando tú naces aquí, todo es fácil.
When you're
Pero
born
cuando
here,
tú vienes, es diferente.
when you're born here, everything is easy. But when you're from somewhere else, everything is hard.
Y sería bueno hacer, sí, más conciencia de la discriminación.
And I think it'd be nice if this situation was noticed more. Okay. Does the discrimination you face today still affect you? Si todavía te afecta.
Sinceramente,
Honestly,
siento que ya no. Lo único que sí me afecta siempre es mi inglés. He tratado de aprenderlo, pero es muy difícil para mí. Tengo 43 años, no es fácil.
honestly, not really, but I do struggle with my English. I'm 43 years old, and I'm trying to learn my English. I'm trying to get better, but it's pretty hard.
Y siento de que más que todo es eso. El inglés me frustra y con la discriminación
The discrimination.
ha sido superado, pero cuando hablo inglés en un lugar que tengo que defenderme o algo, viene a mí todas las cosas que he vivido.
But the English is very frustrating. But the discrimination has gotten better. I don't really experience it that much anymore. But it's the English that bothers me. Because if I'm in a place where I need to speak and defend myself, or, just I have to speak it properly, it's kind of hard because I don't know the proper words at times.
Y todo vuelve a mí, los recuerdos.
And then later on, when I don't need it anymore, everything comes to me. But it's useless now because it already passed. Okay. Now that you are living in Canada, what are you looking forward to when you grow up?
Lo que más necesitaría y fuera mi sueño canadiense es aprender inglés.
So what I'm looking forward to, my dream, my Canadian dream, would be learning English properly.
Ya, fuera lo que completara todo mi esfuerzo.
It would be what would complete all of my hard work, all these years.
Ya,
Yeah,
fuera lo que me completara mi vida.
I see. So it would just complete everything for you if you just learned English.
Ya en este país estoy estable, tengo casa, tengo licencia para manejar, ya nadie me detiene, tengo mi carro, tengo libertad, pero me falta aprender inglés.
You know, so you have a car, you have a house, you have a stable life so far. You know, just to chop it all off, you just need good English, you know. And you actually have a license, so you won't be stopped anymore.
Yes. Y estaría completa mi vida.
It'd be complete.
Yes.
Wow. Well, Irene, thank you so much for coming here on a Book and Mathley's podcast talking about immigrants and just overall groups that are really oppressed in society today. Thank you so much for coming on here and speaking of your experience and story so far, and for having the patience to sit here this whole time and listen.
Quisiera decir algo al final de todo esto.
You wish to say something else?
Yes.
And what would that be? What is it that you want to say?
A pesar de todo lo que he pasado en este tiempo, todo, he podido explicar algo de mi vida.
After everything I've gone through, you know, all my struggles, all my hard work, everything I've just experienced in life, I can finally speak about it freely.
Pero créanme que esto que yo les he dicho todavía no es la realidad de lo que viví.
But even after everything I've told you, believe me that all of this is nothing from the reality that I faced this far.
Si pudiera explicarles en mi idioma, fuera más expresiva en los detalles.
If I could explain to you in my language, I'd be more expressive with what actually happened.
Es importante que tengamos el valor de esta vida, y ya que ustedes tienen una oportunidad de estar acá, hacer algo bueno por su vida y por sus futuros hijos, su futura familia.
It's good to take an opportunity, you know, that you were either born here or raised here in Canada, to take the opportunity of not being like me and taking the opportunity of being raised in a good country and actually do well in life. Wow. Thank you for that last message, Irene. Do you want to say bye to everyone?
Bye, everyone.
Okay. That was a Book and Mathley's talk and podcast about discrimination towards marginalized groups. Yes. You must not hate and discriminate against immigrants or anyone at that. Help not hate, everyone. Help not hate.
Here today?
Raywin Gomez,
How old were you when you came to Canada?
9 years old, 2019.
You know, like, what were your struggles? How did, like, feel coming here? Type stuff, you know?
The passport thingy and speaking English, you know what I mean?
How long did it take for your passport to come out? And how long did it take for you to, like, learn English and adapt here?
Wait, pardon?
How long did it take for your passport to come out? And how long did it take for you to learn English and adapt here?
It took like 3 years, 5 years, and speaking English was like around 2 months.
That was very fast. You're a fast learner.
Yeah! You know what I'm saying?
Was it difficult to fit in to Canada?
What do you mean?
Like,
Did you get bullied?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
By who? Like, what were the comments?
They were like saying that you monkey, you don't belong here, you know, like your accent is so bad. They were, but I don't really care, you know.
Do you still let it affect you, today?
Nah.
Why? Like, what are like some words that keep you away from the discrimination? You know what I mean?
Because like I just don't care, you know, like I just ignore them some stuff because I know my rights, you know.
Good. Now that you're living in Canada, what are you like planning to do in like through your future? You know.
Still just be with her for the rest of my life, you know.
Okay.
Who's her?
Yanis.
Interesting.
Okay, like my wise friend Matthew told me, help, not hate, and don't discriminate. I hope you guys had a great day, and yeah, the end.
Who am I here today?
Raven Gummies.
How old were you when you came to Canada?
9 years old, 2019.
What were you and your family struggles coming here?
The passport thingy and speaking English.
How long did it take for your passport to come out?
Around 3 years, 5 years maybe.
Okay, how long did it take for you and your family to... Oh, cut that out! Who am I here with today?
Raven Gummies.
Okay, how old are you right now? Like, in general?
14 years old, you feel me?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I do feel you. Cut that out!
Oh my god. Oh, come on.
That sounded so wrong. 14 years old, do you feel me? Yeah, I feel you.
Okay. You don't say that. What are you talking about?
Okay, guys, like my wise friend Matthew told me, hate not give, don't discriminate, and yeah, treat others equally. The end.